Okay, so we are good and we can start with our prayer. Is it 5 o'clock? It doesn't matter, no? It's only us who are here. So,
It is 1 minute less. It is okay.
yeah, I'll share the prayer screen. Okay, yeah. I think you should we do it together or should I say and you will repeat?
We can say it together, Swamiji.
Okay. Shruti Smriti Puranam
Purana
Alayam
Alaya
Karunalayam
Karunalayam
Namami
Namami
Bhagavat Padam
Padam
Shankaram Loka Shankaram.
Shankaram.
I'll make it bigger still, okay?
It's quite big.
But if somebody is using a mobile, which Sarojanti is, then it's not big.
Acha, acha. Okay.
Shankaram Shankaracharya
Shankaracharyam
Keshavam
Keshavam
Badarayanam
Badarayanam
Sutrabhashya Krutau
Kritau
Vande
Vande
Bhagavantau Punah
Bhagavantau Punah Punah
Sada Shiva
Shiv
Samadhyamam
Samagamam
Shankaracharya Madhyamam
Asmadacharya
Asmadacharya
Paryantam
Vande Guru
Guru
Paramparam.
Param.
Next time I will repeat because I think for Sarojanti it's tough. Eh? Okay, now it's even bigger. Ishvaro Guru
Guru Ratmeti
Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadya
Vyapta Dehaya
Dakshinamurtaye Namaha.
Namah.
I forgot to do Sahana Vavatu, so I'll do that. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now page number 22, our prayer on Shri Harim Paramanandam.
Shri Harim Paramanandam.
Okay, it's not Paramanandam, it is Paramanandam.
Parama.
Now is complete. Okay. Shri Harim Paramanandam.
Shri Harim Paramanandam.
Very nice. Upadeshtaramishwaram.
Upadeshtaramishwaram.
Vyapakam sarvalokanam.
Vyapakam sarvalokanam.
Karanam tam namamyaham.
Karanam tam namamyaham.
What a grand prayer it is, no? उसमें स्वामी जी का unfolding में सब कुछ आ गया, eh? So last time we were looking at the second verse, right? And let's do that. Aparokshanubhutirvai.
Aparokshanubhuti.
That's page 33. Prochyate moksha siddhaye.
Prochyate moksha siddhaye.
Sadbhireva prayatnena.
Sadhireva prayatnena.
Vikshaniya muhurmuhu.
Vikshaniya murmu.
Yeah. Okay. So any questions?
No.
I welcome any questions, eh? So last time we were looking at this, where Swamiji points out that Aparokshanubhuti is immediate recognition or knowledge of the self. It is prasiddha, he says. It is well known. Yeah. because of that indeclinable why being there. How is it well known? Because everybody knows that I am. No, we don't need anything to tell us who I am or what I am. We are just, everybody knows I am, I exist. Right? Then he gave us the example of the 10th man. And when that person was told that you are the 10th man, then what happened to him? He thought the 10th man was lost. Right? So what happens is, oops, let me stop this. Yeah, then I can see all of you all. He thought the 10th man is lost. And as soon as he is told that you are the 10th man, what happens to him?
Light dawns upon him. Yes, I am the 10th man.
Yes. Means he recognizes immediately.
Yes.
Not that the 10th man is a new person who has come there. No, he recognized that I am the 10th man. The one who I thought was lost, I am that very same person. Iti. Swamiji says that he sees that he is the 10th man. Meaning he sees that 10th man is not different from himself. Iti. Right? So in the same way, in this knowledge also, when you are told Tat Tvamasi, you are that. You are that means you are that self-effulgent consciousness. Iti. Which is without any boundary, which is free and limitless. You are Paramananda. Iti. Then that person is able to see. When is he able to see? When he has got Viveka. So here Swamiji says seeing oneself requires Viveka, right? And then in that Viveka we saw that Viveka is between what is the truth of oneself and what is not. Iti. That kind of Viveka is required. And we looked at the Viveka is by knowing the characteristics of what is not the true self and what is the true self. Iti. Okay, so the characteristics of not the true self we saw, it is Omat. So he is able to now this Viveki, he does this kind of Viveka again and again, not once, as we will see later on in this verse. Again and again the fellow does the Viveka. And as he does this again and again, he begins to recognize what he is not, that this is not me. And he is able to see who he is, iti. And Swamiji here says very beautifully, that is something which is possible for everybody. Yeah? Everybody can do that. Then he comes to a portion saying, teaching must remove all vagueness and doubt. Okay. And then we came to today's matter. Today's matter is going to point out the Anubandha Chatushtaya. What is the subject matter? Who is the Adhikari? Right? And then what is the Prayojana? What is the benefit or what is the purpose of this study? And what is the Sambandha? The connection between this text and the purpose. Iti. All this we will see. So we will start. Okay, I will start with reading. That is page number 37. Immediate self-knowledge is the subject matter. Just let me make my room a little cooler. Okay. Aparokshanubhuti is therefore the Vishaya, the subject matter of this text. The word Aparokshanubhuti means immediate self-knowledge and also refers to this text itself, which reveals this Aparokshanubhuti. So this text, the name of this text is Aparokshanubhuti. And what is it going to reveal to us? Aparokshanubhuti. What is immediate self-knowledge? In the secondary sense, the text is also called Aparokshanubhuti. The word Upanishad means self-knowledge, and the text that expounds self-knowledge is called as Upanishad. Just as a book that expounds upon a history is called as history. Bhatya uncle, you can take this. Moksha is the purpose.
The text is told for moksha siddhi, acquisition of moksha,
Just
liberation.
1 minute. This word acquisition of moksha, moksha is really not acquired, Moksha is already siddha. Therefore, acquisition of moksha, whoever the editor is should have, I don't know what other word we would have used. Anyway,
Recognition.
recognition of moksha would have been much better word than acquisition of moksha. Okay, the word
The word moksha is
is
derived from the root
much.
much, meaning release or freedom. So moksha means freedom, or may say unconditional freedom.
Yeah. Muchla, in number 28 footnote, it's written muchla, mokshane. Yeah, that's just the root meaning they have given. Okay. Continue.
What we said about unconditional happiness can also be said about the unconditional freedom. What we want is not just freedom, but unconditional freedom. There may be political freedom, the freedom to say what you want to say, do what you want to do, go where you want to go. All this is given to you. But is it really freedom? It is freedom only in that there is no external restraint in what you want to do. But restraint is mainly internal, not external.
By this, he means actually, we will expound on it. When he said restraint is mainly internal, I was a little, looking at what does he mean. It means basically on ragadveshas, having a certain mastery over one's ragadveshas is what he means. He means here dama and shama.
It is not that the world makes me helpless or a slave, although it may try to do so. What truly makes me a slave is my own mind. I am first of all a slave of my own mind, and then I become the slave of the world. As Gandhiji said, we Indians are slaves of the British because we are firstly slaves of our own mind. Anybody can come and conquer us. Anybody can come and rule us because we are ruled by our own mind. Gandhiji always preached internal freedom first before one gets the external freedom.
Yeah, uncle, now we'll give it to somebody else. Anita, you can
Yes.
take this next para.
Moksha is freedom from all impulses. Here also, the freedom to be attained is freedom from my own impulses, which may be reduced to two: raga, attachment, and dvesha, aversion. These are the impulses that control me. In the Gita, Lord Krishna reduces all impulses to three: kama, lust, krodha, anger, and lobha, greed.
Yeah, stop 1 minute. I'll just read that verse from Gita. Trividam narakasyedam. So, Trividam narakasya idam dwaram. Nashanam atmanah. Nashanam atmanah. Kama krodhas tatha lobha. Tasmat etat trayam tyajet. Okay, give these up. Why? Because these three are the doors to what? To the destruction. This threefold doors to the threefold door to hell, and which will cause the destruction of yourself. Iti. And what are they? Kama, krodha, tata, lobha. Tasmat, therefore, etat trayam tyajet. May you give them up. May you let them go. Iti. Okay, continue, Anita.
These impulses command me. I may think that I have the freedom to say that I want, but
To say what
is
I
it
want.
the what I want? But is it not my anger that decides what I say? Is it not my greed that decides what I do? And is it not my lust that decides that I what I enjoy? I may have freedom as far as external world is concerned, but my kama buddhi or bhoga buddhi impulse to indulge is what controls me.
Yeah, just 1 minute. I wrote a small note. So I said one day we can try a sadhana of shutting our phones, okay, once a week, or putting it on airplane mode after informing others. Because right now I think this is a common addiction for all of us. Okay? That is our phone, iti, driven by kama or bhoga buddhi. Okay, anger very often.
Anger very often controls what I want, what I say and do. My greed controls how I deal with money and various other things. As long as these impulses are there, nobody is free. When they are not there, you are free under all conditions, wherever you are and whatever role you are playing. Freedom is not a characteristic to description of an external situation. Freedom is a state of mind, it is a subjective thing. Moksha means unconditional freedom. When my mind is completely favorable to me, there is no conflict in the mind at all. It is totally favorable, totally abiding, and pleased with itself, and therefore free from lust and anger and greed. Freedom is when you discover a total satisfaction, contentment, and acceptance of yourself. It is total freedom from all the conflicts within. That is called freedom. Thus, first of all, we should know what we are seeking in life, namely moksha siddhi, unconditional freedom, freedom from all impulses.
Suni uncle?
Yes. The source of all impulses is ignorance. What is the source of the kama, krodha, lobha, and so on? Vedanta explains that the root of these impulses is self-ignorance. Here, ignorance is not merely an absence of knowledge, but is rather false knowledge. The misperception I have about myself causes this kama, krodha, lobha, which is what binds me. Avidya, ignorance, leads to kama, desire, and thus to kama, action to fulfill my desire. Kama is therefore a result of inner dissatisfaction. I seek freedom from that dissatisfaction.
Okay, stop 1 minute. So a common this thing which we all do, no? We do a lot of surfing on the phone. Okay? Why do we do that? One thing we can say is we do that is because we want to distract ourselves. From what? From feeling bored. Why do we feel bored? Because we are dissatisfied with ourselves. Iti. Okay? Just some kind of a comment. That's all.
The result of, should I
Huh.
continue? The result of Aparokshanubhuti is that I see myself for what I am, a complete being. When there is total satisfaction, there is no scope for desire. When there is no desire, there is no scope for anger or greed. This knowledge brings to manifestation the Paramananda, wholeness, which is my own nature. When I see myself as a whole and complete, there is no conflict within. I am at peace with myself. All the internal impulses are gone because the cause is gone. The impulses are the effect. When you remove the cause, the effect goes. In deep sleep, and in moment of ecstasy, you also become free. But that is freedom which comes and goes. We want freedom that comes and never goes. That is moksha. In this way, the prayojana purpose of the text is known to be moksha.
Yeah. So far we saw the Vishaya is Aparokshanubhuti and the Prayojana now is
Moksha.
Moksha. Okay. So before Sarojanti reads, I will just point out what is the purpose of a full stop. When we are reading, why do we have full stop? To pause. Okay. So when you see a full stop, you must pause. When we are reading, we are not trying to quickly look at what is happening next. We stay with that sentence, stay with the word, stay with the sentence. And when there is a full stop or a comma, we pause. Then the reading comes alive. Yeah, even in our own mind, it will come alive.
This is
Auntie,
like
you
a
pick.
this
Huh?
is like a vichar. This is like a vichara. No?
Yeah. So, Auntie, now you read the next one. Mumukshu is a, so you see, we did Vishaya, we did Prayojana. Now he is coming to Adhikari, the qualified student. Yeah. Auntie?
A Mumukshu is a qualified student.
Mm.
The Adhikari qualified student for studying this text is a Mumukshu, one who desires moksha. This purpose of the text is to enable me to gain moksha, liberation. So the qualified student is the one who wants freedom.
Yes.
Everyone wants freedom, but we should also know what is the nature of that freedom and how we gain that freedom is all our efforts and endeavor we seek freedom. Unfortunately, when freedom is not pursued properly, the very pursuit of freedom brings about more bondage. For example, there is a fellow who does not like cooking and he wants to be free from cho- uh, the
Chore
chore
of
of,
cooking.
so he gets married to have something to take care of cooking. And then the two feel lonely, so they have a child. Now he has even a more responsibilities and feels that his freedom is totally gone. Our efforts needs not increase bondage, but they can if our approach is not intelligent. Pujya Swamiji called this process of converting luxuries into a necessities. We think that we are progressing, but all we are doing is getting ourselves further bound as we become dependent upon luxuries, turning them into a necessaries,
Yes,
living.
Auntie, stop. Please stop. Yeah. So, Swamiji is talking about how we make ourselves more bound by making our, luxuries, what was once a luxury, into a necessity. So, I was reading this, no? So, I was thinking, what all have I done, Which all luxuries have I made into necessities? I was thinking of myself. So, earlier, I never had an AC. It is very hot in this flat, because I'm on the topmost floor. So what I used to do when it was very hot and I couldn't take it, I would wet the dupatta and I will wear wet dupatta with full fan and end up with sinus and cold. So finally, when I could afford, I said, I can afford an AC. I will take an AC. Then what happens? Now the capacity to bear the heat has become much less. What was a luxury, the AC became a necessity. Yeah. Then car. Earlier it was scooter. Now it is car. Iti. So it's good for us just to pause and look at our own lives, and see where we have converted what was luxury for us into a necessity. Not that it's bad, Just a look back, and see how we are looking. Nowadays, what has become necessity for everybody? Everybody. Mobile, WhatsApp,
Mobile.
YouTube, सब नेसेसिटी बन गए हैं. व्हाट्सएप तो नेसेसिटी बन गई है. मैसेजेस डिंग डोंग ऐसे जा रही है. यूट्यूब वॉर इज गोइंग ऑन. So we are all glued to that. In other words, social media, in the whole globally, this has become a necessity. Okay. So Swamiji says now, Auntie, you can continue living life intelligently.
Living life intelligently, on the other hand, and becomes the process of progressively discovering freedom from the necessities. People
Yes.
are for freedom. There is no doubt about that. But the intelligent way of searching for freedom is to understand that the self is the one of the nature of freedom. Self-knowledge is therefore the means of freedom. This contentment has to come.
This
Discernment.
discernment, this
This-
viveka,
This
discernment has to come.
to come.
I think there's nothing complicated here, right? Simple. Anything? Any want to discuss anything here, Suni uncle?
Or it is clear. It's clear.
It's okay. Nothing here. And I also feel nothing complex here. Now comes a very interesting portion. Self-knowledge, this I will read, is meaningful only for a jignasu. The one who understands that all bondage is due to self-ignorance, and therefore self-knowledge is the means of moksha, is called a mumukshu, the one who desires moksha, or a jignasu, the one who desires knowledge. Really speaking, everybody is a mumukshu because everybody wants moksha. Such a big point Swamiji has made. The one who understands that all the sense of limitation that we feel, all the apurnata that we feel, is due to self-ignorance. No, this is not recognized by anybody. That I am feeling apurna because of self-ignorance. Iti. So the one who understands that all apurnata is due to self-ignorance. And if ignorance has got only one solution, what? Knowledge. So if you have self-ignorance, what you need is self-knowledge. And therefore, self-knowledge is the means of moksha. So the one person who understands this is called as a mumukshu or a jignasu. Really speaking, everybody is a mumukshu because everybody wants moksha. But only a jignasu, a viveki, a discerning person understands that moksha can be attained only by self-knowledge because bondage is a product of self-ignorance. That discerning person is an adhikari. Such a, sweeping statement Swamiji is making. Means, पहले से जो person को पता है कि self-ignorance is the problem. When we all came to Vedanta, none of us knew that there was something called self-ignorance. किसको पता था? किसी को नहीं पता था. All we know at that time is that there is a sense of dissatisfaction. And this is satsanga, कुछ तो मिलेगा इधर. And we go like that, no? Or we get attracted to the teacher. And then we go to listen to the teacher. The teacher talks well, iti. But nobody really knows that self-ignorance is my problem and therefore I need self-knowledge. So the adhikari, the real adhikari, is the one who has understood this. That mera apurnata is because of my lack of knowledge about myself. And therefore, the solution is only knowledge, because only knowledge is opposed to ignorance. Nothing else is opposed to ignorance. Is seva opposed to ignorance? No. Is praying to God opposed to ignorance? No. Nothing is opposed to ignorance. Only knowledge is opposed to ignorance. If you're ignorant about something, you need knowledge of that thing. Iti. That much discernment the person requires. Iti. So, self-knowledge is meaningful only for such a person. Most people don't see any need for self-knowledge. It is only for the one who has discovered that self-ignorance and nothing else is the problem. Children are not a problem. Parents are also not a problem. In fact, nobody else is a problem. Only self-ignorance and all notions and complexes born out of it are the problems. If they are not there, we have no problem. In fact, we will accept ourselves and the world as it is. Pujya Swamiji used to say that we have an uncanny knack for converting situations into problems. We do this because we have a problem with ourselves, and therefore everybody else becomes a problem. When we resolve the problem with ourselves, there is no problem with anybody else either. That is giving real freedom to others. It's not simply being indifferent. Don't imagine that this means that we should allow Pakistan to get away with whatever they do. Huh? Yes, we are all okay with ourselves. तो जितना भी आतंक होगा कंट्री में सब ठीक है, सब भगवान की देन है.
हाँ, ये डॉक्टर साहब है.
That is wrong thinking. So we can give real freedom to others only when we enjoy freedom within ourselves. Such freedom requires viveka, discernment. That discerning person is the adhikari, the one who will benefit from this. So in this, what kind of viveka is Swamiji talking about? It's another level, you know. He is talking about this much viveka that the person knows, that means a person has attended some satsang. Therefore, now the person recognizes that my problem of apurnata is because of my lack of knowledge about my real nature. And therefore, what I have to go after is knowledge about my real nature. This is the viveka that Swamiji is talking about. Okay? Nityavastum ekam brahma tad vyatiriktam sarvam anityam. Iti, that was viveka. That discerning person is the adhikari, the one who will benefit from this. To summarize, the Vishaya, the subject, is Aparokshanubhuti. The Prayojana or purpose is Moksha. And the qualified student, the Adhikari, is a Mumukshu, one who wants Moksha with an understanding that Apurnata is the product of self-ignorance, and thus Moksha is the result of self-knowledge. Sometimes I change the word, you know, just for more impact. Okay? Now it is Uncle's, Bhatia Uncle's turn. Huh? Time ho gaya?
One question. So is it the eradication of the self-knowledge, eradication of the self-ignorance, or it is the creation of the knowledge?
No. Eradication of self-ignorance.
So
that point Swamiji had made earlier also.
It means knowledge is there. Knowledge is not created.
Knowledge is there already in the sense that you know you are. Okay?
Because there is nothing addition. If there is a specs on my head and I am searching, if there is a key in the pocket, I am searching.
Exactly.
If I am the
already
10th man, I don't know. So it is the ignorance which is eradicated and the self-knowledge is created.
And then you recognize yourself.
So
because you are already there.
So that is what probably Swamiji wrote elsewhere also,
Yeah.
Where their self-knowledge is not created. It is
No,
already
it's not
there.
created. Yeah. In this, we will put a little note here. Okay. So ignorance is no. Your experience is I am, and self-knowledge is I am Ananda. So to that extent, we are not saying there is creation of knowledge. We are saying there is recognition with the help of Shruti. With the help of Shruti Vakyas and the help of Shruti's way of teaching, we will recognize, because that recognition I am is already there. But that I am Ananda, meaning I am that Purna, that recognition takes place with help of Shruti. Because every that I am not, that I am Dukhi is negated. Okay? That I am limited is negated. So then what is left? I am is left, and that I am is Purna. Iti? So there is no creation of knowledge, but there is a recognition with the help of Shruti. Okay. Now, Bhatia uncle can read, the mumukshu must become a jignasu.
Some people think that they are bound because they are not in the heaven. There are so many spiritual pursuits, and these are all fine. There are many mumukshus and many kinds of sadhanas, spiritual practices. People are doing different things because their understanding of the problem determines what they perceive to be correct solution. The person who will benefit most from this teaching is the one who understands the self-ignorance is the problem and self-knowledge is the solution.
This is what today I put in Vedanta Satsang. Okay?
That person is a mumukshu or jigyasu. Pujya Swamiji would say that a mumukshu should get transformed into a jigyasu. A mumukshu desires freedom and a jigyasu desires knowledge. The one who desires liberation must get transformed into one who desires knowledge.
Let's put another word here. Instead of liberation and all sounds very big, no? The one who desires Purnata. Same thing. Now, Purnata, we immediately understand because we all long for it, you know. So the one who desires Purnata must get transformed into the one who desires knowledge. Yeah? Because liberation is Purnata.
That is what happened with Arjuna. He got transformed and then said, Lord, please teach me. At that moment, he became a jigyasu.
Yes, very nice. Eh? So now, Anita?
Yes. The need for repeated contemplation. In the second line of the verse, the author makes a recommendation. He says that this text is
Vikshaniya.
To be meditated upon, contemplated upon, deliberated upon. This must be done muhur, again and again. Simply one round of this text may not be enough. It may be necessary for a person to go through it again and again until the knowledge takes place. The author is very confident that what he provides in this text is adequate for a jigyasu, discerning aspirant to gain liberation. It all depends upon the aspirant's level of preparation. If he is an Uttama Adhikari, the most prepared student, one round may be enough. Otherwise, he may need 2, 3, or even more rounds. In any case, what is given is enough. All you need to do is to go through it again and again. Every time you go through it, the mind gains a little more clarity. Finally, the knowledge becomes very clear. Until that happens, this text should be contemplated upon. By whom?
Sadvihi.
Sadvihi.
Sadvihi. Page
Sadvihi.
43, in case anybody has
Yes,
lost their page, we are on page
Sadvihi.
43, second paragraph.
Yeah. Wise or discerning people. Those who are Sat Purushas.
Hmm.
A Sat Purusha is a person committed to Sat, truth, a good person who is committed to a life of virtues. This text is worth deliberating upon again and again by the Sat Purushas, sadhus, aspirants, good people, sincere seekers for the attainment of moksha.
Yes, all of us are Sadvihis. Okay?
Okay.
People who are committed to Sat, who want to know what is Sat and who are committed to Sat. We are sincere people. We are good people. Eh? Okay. Now, this portion probably I may read, but before, or I may need not read. Now, the next topic is the Sambandha. So, we looked at Vishaya, we looked at Prayojana, we looked at Adhikari. Adhikari, okay, are the Vivekis, the Sadbihis, okay. What kind of Adhikaris? Who recognize that self-ignorance is the problem and self-knowledge is the solution. Those kind of Adhikaris. And now we come to the connection between this text and the Prayojana, the purpose which is moksha. What is the connection? Iti, we are looking at that. Okay. What is the connection? It is knowledge. It is self-knowledge. This is the sambandha or connection. What knowledge is the sambandha or connection? You must undertake the sadhana of deliberating upon this knowledge in your mind again and again. You don't need to do anything else for moksha. Only gain clarity in this knowledge. As Pujya Swamiji always pointed out, clarity is the name of the game. He would give the example of a Polaroid picture. With a Polaroid camera, you take a picture of Swamiji sitting on a chair. When you first pull the film out of the camera, you only see a very vague outline of Swamiji sitting on a chair. As time goes by, it becomes clearer and clearer. Slowly, you see the eyes, the lips, and all the features become clearer and clearer. In 2 minutes, the whole picture becomes very clear. Clarity comes like that. It may not come right away. First, you get only the overall outlines. That is why the author says, Vikshaniya muhur muhuhu, to be deliberated upon, contemplated upon, muhur muhuhu, again and again. Vikshana, deliberation or contemplation or meditation, has to be done repeatedly. You must deliberate upon this in the mind again and again to gain clarity until all vagueness and doubts get eliminated. This is called the pratigna, the proposition of what we are doing here. I'm not exactly clear what is the pratigna. Bhatya uncle? Here the proposition is what? That you will get moksha if you do this vikshaniya again and again. I think that is the pratigna.
Pratigya Sankalp.
The proposition, what they are planning to unfold, or what we want to achieve. The fourfold qualifications of a sadhu. The author says sadbihi eva. One must be a sadhu to benefit from the upadesha, teaching of this text. By the word sadhu, he means sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, the one who is sampanna, endowed with the sadhana chatushtaya, the fourfold qualifications. The word sadvihi therefore means by those who are sadhus, good people, and by sadhus, he means the ones who enjoy the fourfold qualifications. What are the fourfold qualifications? You remember your Tattva Bodha?
Yes.
Vivek,
Vivek,
Vairagya,
Vairagya,
Samadhi Shatka Sampatti.
and Mumukshatu.
Yes, very good. How does one get these fourfold qualifications? How does one become a sadhu, the good person, pure in heart? The next verse tells us how to gain that purity in heart, which we will see next time. Yeah. So good, we have progressed well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kunyam Kunyam.
Yeah. Nice.
Kunjam, Kunjam.
Konjam Konjam.
Yeah.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Namaha. Harihi Om. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. You know, I am doing this 7 Hanuman Chalisas for our Indian forces for least amount of casualties, for protection of civilians on both sides, and for victory of, for whatever purpose we started out, for victory for that purpose it is, which is the fight against terrorists. Yeah. So I'm praying every day. Hanumanji, I think, is the best for that. Because he gives strength, he gives protection, and so I am regularly praying. In fact, now I'm going to be doing that. Okay. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Guruma, all the best for tomorrow.
All the best for tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. Now I've, it's all old stuff. Like, okay, होगा, उसकी भी कोई
होगा.
side effects होगा, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, सहन कर लो.
So how many more are sitting like this?
Hmm?
How many more sittings are required?
So tomorrow 1 and then 2 more.
2 more.
Total 3.
Till end of June.
So all the
Yeah.
best.
Okay.